So, what if I told you that right here, spread all across the United States, there are places that still leave scientists completely and utterly stumped? We're talking about locations where people inexplicably vanish, where bizarre, glowing lights just show up in the night sky, and mysterious sounds literally echo through the darkness. In today's Explainer, we're diving into the 10 most mysterious places in America that remain entirely unsolved. Let's get into it.
We kind of just assume modern science has an answer for everything, right? But out there are specific spots that completely defy all logical explanation. And the crazy thing is, these aren't just urban legends or myths. These are actual physical locations you can go visit where the events unfolding simply do not make any sense. We're looking at 10 distinct, totally unsolved American mysteries.
Section 1. Bizarre Human Creations. Our first stop takes us to the Winchester Mystery House out in California. Now imagine walking through this absolutely sprawling mansion, and you find a staircase that goes right up into the ceiling, leading literally nowhere. Or you open a totally normal-looking door and bam, you're facing a solid brick wall. This house features hundreds of these nonsensical rooms. It's basically a life-sized architectural maze designed specifically to disorient anyone who steps inside. So why on earth build such a thing? Well, its creator, Sarah Winchester, believed with all her heart that vengeful ghosts were hunting her family. This wasn't just poor planning by a contractor. She intentionally kept expanding this house, nonstop, for decades. She wanted to create a layout so incredibly confusing that the spirits haunting her would just get lost inside. It stands today as this massive, wild monument to one woman's sheer terror. Up next, before their abrupt destruction, the Georgia Guidestones were another massive modern enigma. People often called them an American Stonehenge. These towering slabs of rock were carved with these deeply mysterious, heavily debated guidelines for humanity, and they were translated into multiple different languages. But here is the million-dollar question, and it's one of America's biggest modern mysteries. Despite this being a massive, highly coordinated construction project, absolutely no one ever knew who actually paid for the Georgia Guidestones, or what their true intended purpose even was. I mean, who had the money and the specific agenda to erect these giant stones completely anonymously? To this day, the true identity of the builders and their exact motives remain a total secret. We're left with literally nothing but questions. Section 2. UFOs and Paranormal Hotspots. Now, looking across the American West, the paranormal events reported are just wildly diverse. Down in Marfa, Texas, mysterious glowing lights have been dancing in the desert sky for over a century. Are they just atmospheric anomalies, or is it something else? Meanwhile, visitors to California's Mount Shasta report seeing strange beings, with some folks genuinely believing the mountain hides a massive ancient underground city. And over in Utah, you've got Skinwalker Ranch, which is famous for this terrifying, relentless mix of UFOs and truly bizarre creatures. But what elevates a place like Skinwalker Ranch from just your typical local ghost story to a profound, serious mystery is the sheer level of official interest it's generated. This isn't just folklore, guys. These phenomena have actually been the subject of government-funded investigations. We're talking official teams going out there to study the ranch using high-grade scientific equipment. And yet, despite all the funding and all the advanced technology, absolutely no clear answers have ever been found to explain what the heck is happening on that property. Which brings us to the big one. What if everything you've heard about Area 51 is only half the truth? Hidden deep in the Nevada desert is a military base so incredibly secret that for decades, the U.S. government completely refused to even admit it existed. But why? Today, officially, it's a military testing facility. Yet, those decades of extreme secrecy fuel persistent rumors of alien technology and crashed UFOs. In this explainer, we're looking at how it's a location where dark secrets, real history, and shocking theories just completely collide. Section 3. Nature's Unexplained Anomalies. All right, at the Oregon Vortex, science claims the entire area is simply a complex optical illusion. But countless visitors swear up and down that gravity itself actually behaves differently here. People report that balls will literally roll uphill, they feel inexplicably dizzy just standing there, and their physical height appears to actually change depending on where they stand. So are our eyes just playing tricks on us, or is something else entirely at play here? Now, I know what you're thinking. This next location is technically not inside the United States, but it is so deeply tied to American history and geography that we have to talk about the Bermuda Triangle connection.
This infamous oceanic region off our southeastern coast has claimed an absolutely incredible number of American ships and airplanes over the decades.
Scientists will strongly suggest these tragedies are simply the result of severe weather patterns and some really unpredictable ocean currents. Fair enough. And yet, the sheer volume of these incidents forms a mystery that is really hard to just brush off. Countless massive vessels and aircraft have vanished into deep water without leaving a single trace of wreckage or even sending out a distress signal. It remains completely 100% unexplained. Heading back onto land, well, underneath it actually, we find Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. Spanning hundreds of miles, it is officially the world's longest known cave system. It is just a massive, dark, sprawling subterranean labyrinth. But the real mystery here isn't just its unbelievable size, it's what we still don't know about it. Large parts of Mammoth Cave remain completely unexplored today. Just think about that for a second. In our modern world, where we have satellite mapping and GPS on our phones, there is this massive dark frontier right beneath Kentucky. Explorers are literally continuing to discover entirely new passages as we speak. It's like a vast, ancient puzzle that we're still very slowly trying to piece together. Section 4. The Ultimate Unsolved Mystery. So we've seen bizarre buildings, UFO hotspots, and massive caves. But this one? This is the ultimate geographical anomaly. I am talking about the Devil's Kettle up in Minnesota. It's a waterfall that behaves unlike absolutely any other known natural formation on planet Earth. The mechanics here are what make it so confusing. As the river flows down, the waterfall splits directly into two streams. Okay, simple enough. The first stream flows over the rocks and continues down the river perfectly normally. But the second stream? That is where reality seems to just glitch. It pours directly into a massive, deep hole in the rock, and it simply disappears. Seriously, where does the water go? For years, absolutely no one had a clue. People have dropped dyes, ping pong balls, and even GPS trackers into that hole just to see where they would pop out downstream, and nothing. They simply vanish. It's really cemented Devil's Kettle as the ultimate natural mystery. It's literally half a river just swallowed whole by the earth. From houses built to confuse ghosts, to top-secret desert military bases, to waterfalls that empty into absolute nowhere, we are constantly surrounded by things we simply do not understand. If places like this can exist right here in our own backyards, it really forces you to ask, how much of reality is still out there just waiting to be discovered?